Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. In this video, I'm gonna show you guys how to start a podcast in 2020. I'm gonna show you guys how you can do it straight from your phone as well as make a professional podcast from your computer. And I'm gonna show you guys all how to do this for free, absolutely free. And I'm gonna show you guys how to get it on the big distributors like Apple, Spotify, all the big names, as well as how exactly I do all of my podcasts. I'm gonna show you guys how I made the podcast art and all that in this video. It's a full tutorial, so I hope you guys are very excited for it, and let's jump into it. Okay guys, so we're on my computer and I just want to show you guys really fast what my podcast actually looks like so you guys have an idea of the podcast I actually own. It's called The Online Entrepreneur. You can find links in the description, but here is the podcast. If you go ahead and play it for a second. You're listening to episode 1 of the Online Entrepreneur podcast with Michael Wymore, founder of the Media Buyer. As you guys can see, it's very professional, sounds great, and it also has very nice podcast art, and it's very niche specific, meaning, you know, my podcast is calling out to people who are interested in online entrepreneurship, people who like business. That might be you guys, or it might be a different niche. So it doesn't matter what niche you're in, you can apply the same strategy to start a podcast in 2020. And so I'm very excited to show you guys all that I did to start this. So this is Spotify, as you guys can see, very clean platform. I'm very glad I got it on there, but I'm even more glad that I got on an Apple podcast, because this is probably the biggest distributor of podcasts, probably the most listened to platform, if it's not Spotify, but I think it's Apple. And again, you know, same thing. If you go back here, sounds very professional. Again, it sounds the exact same on every platform, as you guys probably guessed. So I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys all that. And now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and show you guys how I actually record my podcast, how I actually get it done. So when I want to record a podcast, I actually do all of the audio recording, all of that stuff in a program called Audacity. So this is the program called Audacity. And if we go ahead and do a quick Google search, you can get this program for absolutely free. So let's go ahead and go to Audacity. I've been using this program a lot, and I've used it for other things besides just my podcast. I use it to edit audio and other stuff like that. Not really sure what's happening here, but let's just go ahead and, oh, here we go. We got to Audacity. So this is Audacity. If you just go to audacity.com or audacity.org, sorry, you can get this program for absolutely free. Very clean program, open source, whatever that means. I'll be honest, I have no idea what that means, but so you can just download it here, and you got Audacity. So now that we have Audacity, we have the ability to record a podcast. So if we go ahead and click record, it's going to use my Yeti stereo microphone, the one I'm using right now to record this video, and you can see that once you have some audio here, now we can go ahead and play it back. I'm going to use my Yeti stereo microphone, So as you guys can see, there you go. You get full audio. Very awesome. You can also, what's it called? You can also edit the audio. So if you don't like this part, you can go to effect. You can amplify it, make it louder. You can change all these different things. You can fade out the audio, fade in the audio. You can do noise reduction. This is super helpful if you have like a loud fan and it's always in the background of your videos. You have like loud people in the background talking. You can fade that out. It's actually amazing. I've used this feature before, and there's just a ton of things you can do with Audacity. Now, I want you guys to know that this is not an Audacity tutorial, so if you guys want one of those, make sure you guys comment down below and I can make one of those for you guys as well. But I just want to show you the program that I use to make my podcast. Now, once you have, let's say, the podcast audio all recorded, then you can add background music to make your audio sound more professional. So if you go to File, you click Open, you can then go ahead, select one of the audios that you have, drag it into there. Actually, you know, I'll just go ahead and show you guys for... so once you find the audio, then you can go ahead and just drag it into Audacity. And you can see right here, now we have the audio on top of Audacity. Now, you can see, though, that this audio is so much louder than my tiny little voice right here. So what we're going to want to do, drag all this audio, go to Effects. I'm not, what the heck? Okay, Effects, where is that at? Right here, Amplify, and we're going to definitely want like -15, maybe, yeah, -15. Let's see what that does. All right, there you go. You can see it's a little bit more appropriate. And now if we play it back, I'm going to use my Yeti stereo microphone. So you can at least hear my voice and still hear the sound as well. So you're probably going to want to keep reducing the audio in this. So let's go ahead and just reduce it again. So let's go maybe like -5 again. And as you guys can see, it's even smaller. So we can go play it back. And now we have the ability to edit that, put the audio in place, and make it sound like an actual podcast. And so let's just say like you wanted this part only so that it actually faded out, and you had the introduction here. So like now we have the introduction part and we have the audio part. So you played all. Then you would add the effect that says fade out. So we would fade out. Oh, I clicked fade in. My bad. Hold up. If we highlight this, or I think you actually have to highlight a certain portion of this effect. Sorry guys. Effect fade out. There you go. There, now you can see it fades out. So there you go. That is how you basically put together a podcast. So now once your podcast is all recorded, it's all ready to go. Now all you have to do is upload it to a certain program that's going to distribute your podcast for absolutely free. By the way, keep that in mind. It's absolutely free to do this. And that program is called Anchor. And so Anchor is what I use to distribute all my podcasts. So once I finish recording my podcast, I upload it to Anchor, and then you can go ahead and see what it looks like. So if you look at some of my statistics, I have had 250 plays, audience size about 62. So it's a very new podcast, started about a few weeks ago. You can see like your performance. You can see exactly who your listeners are. So you can see 20% of my listeners are in the United States, 16% in the Philippines, 6% in Pakistan, 4% India, and it just keeps going. So that's very, very interesting to see. You can look at what platforms people are listening on. So for me, it looks like Spotify is the highest, Anchor, Apple Podcasts rank some of the highest. And you can see the gender. So you can see females 29%, males 57%. So you can get really, really in depth. Now, if you want to make a new episode, like let's say we finished that podcast, we'd go over here to Audacity. That's not Audacity. We'd go right here. We'd click File. We'd click Save Project. We'd click Export as MP3. And then you would upload it here. Click Upload. You click on the MP3 file. You click, get it all in here, and then you would click submit, and you would have a fully ready to go podcast just like that, as well as you'd want some I promised I'd show you guys how to do the podcast art as well. So as you guys can see, when you have a podcast, you want to have some good art to attract people to your podcast. So here's my podcast art. I think it looks decent. So all you have to do is just take a picture that you really like and drop it into Photoshop. So let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and show you guys exactly what I did here. So I opened up Photoshop and I put a picture of myself that I really liked. It should be a portrait in my opinion, guys. People want to see your face. They don't want to see your dog or whatever you want to put on there. And you're going to edit. You're just going to edit the picture. So you have a picture here. Just type in whatever you want to call your podcast. For me, it was The Online Entrepreneur. Put a drop shadow on the text. This is really basic. I mean, this is simple, guys. You can highlight yourself. So I kind of made like the background faded and all that stuff. And that is essentially how I made my podcast art. Okay, guys, so that is the video. I just wanted to make a all-inclusive tutorial for you guys. I know I went through some of these steps really fast, but I didn't want to make like a tutorial on Photoshop. I didn't want to make a tutorial on Audacity. Those are just the programs I use. I wanted to give you guys all the tools to be able to make a podcast from scratch. That way you guys can go ahead and implement and not have all the wasted time that a lot of these YouTubers do. They waste a lot of time, and I totally understand and respect your guys' time. So I wanted to give you guys as much information and value as possible. But that is the video, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys give it a big thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe for more videos just like this in the near future, where I help you guys grow your personal brands, your businesses, your online dreams. And I will see you guys in the next video.